Hi, it's been a while, but I'm back. Um, just think back at the time when you just met someone special, a potential prospective significant other. Just imagine how much of time you've invested in the person. You want to just chat. You could just chat on and on and on for hours. You don't even see the time flying. And then you kind of, it has so much intensity. You're constantly finding out what the other person's interests are, what their experiences are, and like, oh gosh, that's me too. Oh my goodness. And then you see all this common ground. And especially if the common ground is based and rooted in Christ, there's a lot of compatibility and there's a lot of, and especially the maturity in Christ, if that also gets compatible, that's just simply awesome. But that's the kind of thing we want. We just long to see that person's face. We just long to hear his voice or her voice. And then, in addition to that, we just, even if we are doing our own thing, just to be close by to each other, that itself was just a beautiful thing that we long for, that marks a new relationship. And in addition to that, we just want to hug the person, cuddle, kind of lean in, feel the person's embrace. There's a sense of security, a feeling of belonging, and it's just beautiful. But at the same time, just to say yes to find more time for the person, we need to kind of say no to some other things in our life. So often it's our relationships, our friendships with the close friends is what suffers a little bit. But thankfully they understand because they want the best for you. And of course, if this person thing doesn't work out, your close friends are there for you. It's not much different for us with our relationship with God. Just go back to the time that you got to know God initially. That time that you just want to soak in his love, soak in his presence, feel his arms wrapped around you, lean on his chest, feel his heartbeat, hear what he wants for you, surrender your will to please him, just like we surrender a lot of ourselves to please a significant other because we want the best for the other person. When was the last time you did that with God? And like our common friends, God is there waiting for us. You might have said no to God, no to spending time with God because you're so caught up with the ways of the world, technology. We have Twitter, we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have Google, we have so many things, and we're often just connecting, wanting to do the in thing and divide our time on all these things, and it's the same group. It's the same group of people as well. What's the purpose? And sometimes we often please our flesh. What would I want? What would my body desire? What would make me happy? And then it's also we fall into the trap of the schemes of the enemy, because the enemy just doesn't want us being close with God and being close with godly people. So the enemy will come like a roaring lion to devour and stop whatever that is that pleases God and honors God. And we often forget that our purpose to be here on earth is for his kingdom and his glory, to come close with him, to have that establish that relationship. But here we are in the scheme of eternity. We don't realize our life on earth is nothing but a little dot. It's a dot, and but still, for all, we're so worried about this little dot and we forget about eternity. We forget about the things of God. We want to be comfortable. We want to, keep our fears, our insecurities, our worries all intact instead of surrendering, letting go, and leaning on God's chest. When was the last time that you went into his presence and that you wanted to seek, relax in his arms, just be cuddled, soak in his love, just to be in his presence, wanted to long to hear his voice, see his face? When was the last time you did that? Remember, we are his children and he loves us even if we don't love him back. Even if we stumble and we hurt him, he's always there for us. And likewise, are we doing the same for other people? Or are we running away from God and from the people that he has blessed us with for the slightest of issues? If he has given us grace, are we willing to extend that grace to another person? And are we leaning on his strength to give that grace to someone else? And remember, Jesus said, by your love for one another may we know that you are my disciples. We're known by his disciples not because of what we say, not because of what we preach, not because of what we write, but by our love for one another. For his disciples is how we will be known as his. Today, take that time to keep things of the world, of your flesh, to put it aside and lean onto his heart, onto the chest, onto God's chest, and hear his heartbeat, hear his will for your life, because that's the perfect and pleasing will. And with that, there comes no sorrows. Just bless you. Have a wonderful day.